I honestly believe Sean is the kind of person you do not want to go on a holiday with your man because he's going to help him cheat. And he's going to come up with excuses for them. Yep. Because the whole time he was talking to Ayo today, I just want to be like, shut up. Let's get into this debrief because I just know the next few episodes I'm just going to be disappointed. It starts off with the girls debriefing the game separately from the boys. And of course, Nicole's going to speak up asking why Kieran and Will's name was in, the ones that would be turning their heads. Now, we understand Will. Kieran, we didn't really understand, which makes sense. And as for our girl, Mimi, that head ain't turning nowhere. And Grace, we knew you were looking at Blade, girl. Talking about he gives the alpha of the group. Girl, tell us why you really like him. No? And then I think they had asked Uma, like, how does she feel? And she's like, nah, she's just thinking of her Will. Like, where's Will? And I'm like, baby, if I were you, I'll start thinking of somebody else because Will gonna be busy in the other villa. Now, what I thought was hilarious, I think it was when Matilda and Nicole were talking to Jake, I think. And then Jake said something along the lines of, like, Sean punching mad in reference to Matilda, which some people could take as an insult, but some people could take as a compliment if you're complimenting his girl. And Matilda's like, oh, bless him. And if you're an OG Love Island fan, you remember season 8, I think Paige had said that to Luca about Gemma, and Luca lost his shit. I don't think I've heard punching since then, but yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. I think this Jess was talking to Hugo. I'm gonna mess him up. But I think it was Hugo she was talking to. I'm just like, Jess, I need you to switch up the flirting or whatever it is you're doing, or just stop doing what you're doing. It's giving Sean at this point. But I think there was a point where he was listing out like his preferences, like brunette, nice eyes, da-da-da. I was so scared that she was gonna say tick, tick, tick. I would have had to close my laptop. What I thought was weird though was when Lionel asked Mimi, what would you have to look out for to make your head turn? Why would she tell you that so you could do it? And Mimi basically was like, I ain't looking for nothing. My head ain't turning. I want to be like, Lionel, let me hold your hand and say this. She not going nowhere. Move to somebody else. And then Mimi and Nicole, they sleep outside. Now Jess has let it known that she really fancies Hugo. Did y'all peep in bed? I think it was Jake and Matilda. They were like touching hands. Jess and Hugo were holding hands. I said, oh, y'all coupled up. Now the new girls have entered the villa. The little girl did a little introductions in the boys' rooms, talk about we're outside waiting for y'all, come join us. And of course, the producers to bring somebody else that Joey knows. I'm tired of it being the Joey show. I thought it was funny because for someone who, really liked Matilda, baby boy was on them push-ups and pressed the girlies outside. Then when the walkout, we find out Kieran knows somebody. At this point, someone in production is Nicole's biggest op. Has to be. What threw me off, I can't remember who Kieran was talking to. He was like, I don't think she's one of the 120. Do you have any shame? And then, the girlies asked them, are any of you guys closed off? And Kieran puts his hand up. Proud moment. But then they asked, like, are you sleeping outside? This man talking about we're grown. Do you see what your girl is doing on the other side? Joey, of course, is going to say, the Grace situation is done. He's open. We know. Said he came in as a bombshell, hit it off with Uma. Everything is going well, but to be honest, he's not closed off. We know. Ayo's was, I'm chatting to Mimi. Everything is going well. They asked him, are you closed off? No, I'm open. We figured. What I thought was so sad, I think it was Trey. The boys were catching up. And Trey basically is like, I'm not going to throw away what me and Jess have right now because it's decent. I just wanted to be like, baby, your girl's busy and she's moved on. On the other end, just go have your last holiday. Also, I can't put my finger on it, but Ellie is giving me Jess. And when I say Jess, I mean Jess OG, not just new girl. I'm not going to explain. But I ain't like when the girls were doing their little catch up. She immediately is telling them like, yeah, Ayo's head is definitely going to turn. And I think it was Jess Casa Girl who chimed in and was like, yeah, even Will. They were so excited when we walked in. Girl, they always excited when women come in. Don't feel special. Yeah, this is another reason I also think I don't like when bombshells or like people coming in watch the show. Because I think it was Ellie who was like, it's funny that Kieran went to sleep in a day bed when he had an argument with Nicole, but with new girls coming in, he can sleep in the bed. What is your issue? I can't even remember the girl Joey was talking to, but I'm glad she told him like, you've been moving mad in here. Because maybe he wasn't aware of what the public thinks, but now he sees, like, we're seeing you move crazy in here. And then he switches the conversation. It's like, oh, my God, look at Ayo. I've never seen Ayo like this before. He's done. And then Ayo. Let's ask this man, what's your type? This man talking about, I can't say. It's you in it. But he been said he likes pretty faces, so are we surprised? The girl is pretty. The girl is pretty. But the girl stuck it on hard because this girl said, I believe in the law of attraction. What you manifest, you will attract. And I think about Aya. Yes. If I wasn't writing for Mimi, I'd like that speech. But since I'm writing for Mimi, I don't like it. Aya's so easy. Like, that little line got you weak. Stand up. And of course, every episode, OG Jess is going to find a way to just make us cringe. Because I think it was Hugo telling her, like, he has to chat to the other girls or whatever. And then she says, remember, the price is in front of you. Can we rest? Can we rest? Also, I feel like the producers made Jesse and Grace talk about Joey because what business do they have talking to each other about Joey? And it seemed like Jesse was actually giving her advice, like maybe he might be in there and might just think like what he has with you is good because he's a good guy. You don't think that? Who forced you to do this? Meanwhile, Nicole's overthinking Ash, trying to figure out what's going on in the men villa. This girl gets her phone to zoom in, which they're slick taking I can't remember what season did the same thing, so it's not an original thought. But she happens to see Kieran and somebody else discussing. I was actually very impressed with Kieran when he was talking to Ellie. Ellie was definitely giving Jess during that conversation. I will not be explaining further. But I think at one point she was like, do you think it would have been different if I came in here at the same time as Nicole? And Kieran's like, I don't know. I was actually shocked that I actually liked his answers during that conversation with the girl. Now, this is where Sean pissed me off. Sean's trying to ask Aya, like, how's things going or whatever. This man talk about, looking at y'all, I see y'all are vibing, I can't lie. Shut up! Then continues to say, obviously, Mimi's amazing, don't get me wrong. I can feel the energy between you and Jess. Shut up! And Aya, is sticking up for me, talking about, Mimi brings the calm to me. And then Sean goes, but the thing is, do you want some spice? Shut the fuck up! Sean really pissed me off. He really pissed me off. But I'm not gonna lie, even though he pissed me off during that conversation, he made me laugh when he was talking to Ruby. Because I think Ruby was saying something along the lines of like, she's coming here, she's very surprised. She really thought like a storm would happen or something. And Sean is like, there's still time. And she's like, yeah, because, I can create a storm if I want to. And Sean asked her like, how many past relationships have you had? I know girls like, yeah, serious one, she's had 4. But she's been cheating on all 4. Which I'm like, baby, why are you giving us more information that we need to know? And Sean gonna say, so... very unsuccessful so far. Why would you say that? And of course, you're going to call him out like, bro, you've cheated too. And, he's grown. And I think back at the villa, I think it was Jake and Jesse talking. And Jake is basically asking her, like, what's her type? And he's like, is it Essex people that you like? Babes, not they got you as the girl that likes men from Essex. Let's broaden it out a bit. I think he had asked, like, how do you feel about Joe in the villa? And the girl's like, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he has all 6 girls in the hideaway. Clock that tea. Speaking of, they didn't really show Joey acting up like we expected them to. Instead, they gave all the camera time to Aya. When he's with Mimi, we